Today I woke up with a very distressing news of one of my friends' child going through a rough period. So we were having this discussion, and I'm a bit troubled by all that we were discussing. So I hope I don't miss out the things that I actually want to talk about her book. So first, let me thank Father for inviting me for this because I simply loved the book. Thank you, Charu, for this wonderful book. You know, when I he father sent me the soft copy, when I started scrolling, I just skipped what Arun and Kaironisa has written about the book because I wanted to have an opinion of my own. I always remember what M.T. Vasudevan had said, കുട്ടികളെ കുട്ടികളായിട്ട് വിടുക. Let us not impose our expectations on them. Let them have this childhood. So I thought I'll read this 13-year-old girl's book without any preconceived notions. So I started reading. As Arun said, there will be no notification for books. And in today's world, we are so much distracted by the sound of the notifications. You just want to check the phone very often. So reading has become a bit constrained because you need to focus when you are reading. It's not a passive activity. But once I started reading the book, I didn't think of anything else. I just went with this character Shivani, her world, and midway through, I started thinking, what did I do when I was 13 years old? Or say 10 when she wrote her first book? Writing impositions, preparing for my tests, doing homework. All I could think of was that when I think of my school or what I did, the only memory I have of when I was in fifth standard, it was March, the exams were going on. My father, who was teaching in the nearby government college, he came to pick me with the news that now I have a little brother. My mom has just given birth. That was on March 22nd. So that's the only thing I remember about that class, fifth standard. He came and we were crossing the ground and walking towards his scooter, and he was telling me this news. And then when I was 13, I was in the eighth standard, we were the high school students. And I studied in an all girls convent school, so there was no possibility of having a crush. It was all girls, and majority of teachers were nuns, and it was very strict. We were always reminded of the SSLC examination. Now you are the grown-ups, you are in high school. You have to prepare for your SSLC examination. And reminded that you are now this big girls, velliya kuttigalai. And I remember some of my classmates changing into full skirt. Then, of course, we had our science club or some activities, we participated in everything. Other than that, and yes, we had this school magazine, we called it as the Kaiyeluthu Masiga. Those times it was not printed. Those with good handwriting will write Urunda Kayaksharam Kuttigal. I was not among them. They will write out all the stories and poems, and that's how it was printed. So I remember writing a story for this Kayyaduthu Masiga. Then the Malayalam teacher called me to the staff room to ask, ഇത് ഷാഹിന തന്നെ എഴുതിയതാണോ? That was the first and last story I ever wrote during my entire school and as well as college days. I thought I did something wrong. And I don't remember anything about that story at all except the protagonist's name, Marina. I don't know what I wrote in that story, but this question kind of unsettled me. and I never had the confidence to write. So considering that now the Gen Zs are so advanced, they know everything about everything. They are very tech savvy and they can write, they are confident enough to write and publish and write novels. I'm so happy to be a part of this releasing ceremony. So when I'll just talk about a few things that caught my attention while reading this. One thing is her sense of humor. It's very difficult to write humor because it's a very fine line. If you can't execute this properly, it will fall into this category what we call as chali. Then nobody will want to read this. Or they will tease her for writing this chali. But writing this properly, that is a very good quality for any writer. She has managed that so well. I just love the way she portrayed her world. Another thing is her sense of observation, especially for the minute details, the detailing in the book. I'll just recount one thing. She's talking about her mother. All when I mean, this is about quarantine, so we were not allowed to go outside. So her mother couldn't visit the beauty parlor. So her eyebrows were like they had a shock. So she is using this kind of minute observations, and there are many instances of how she is looking into that world. That's another thing I really wanted to talk about. When we were confined to the space due to quarantine, like her protagonist Shivani, I like sitting alone. But that becomes pleasurable only when it is your choice, not when you are forced to. But with quarantine, what happened was that you were forced to sit at home. You were not allowed to go out to meet friends, to do anything. Then it became, after a period, it became very unbearable. You cannot meet anyone, can't go out, can't do anything. All of this family is confined to this small space. I think I could survive that because of books, OTT platforms, and of course, phone, through that virtual world, we were all connected. We were chatting with, we could make video calls, we could talk to our friends. And I was thinking, how would I have managed if this happened, say, before OTT or before phone? When I was in school, that would have been very tough for us. And I always wanted to know how this adolescent kids managed or survived this closure. Because they are no, they are this bundle of energy. You cannot confine them to such spaces. So I always thought how they will survive this. Lots of children had problems. So while reading this book, this was like a whiff of fresh air, very optimistic. And to know that Charu has, how she has turned this mundane activities into something pleasurable, like playing this game, memory game with her grandfather. And talking of that, let me tell her grandparents that you are blessed to have such a grandchild. You know, nowadays we don't get time to spend with our grandparents. This grandparents are absent from our movies. So here is this girl spending her time with her grandparents and enjoying every moment of it, inventing new things, whether it's repairing her cycle, whether it's gardening, or whether having pets. Her mention about that furried animals, it's quite interesting. Oh, what she says, Porden. she has kept this notice, I think, in front of her door that says instead of pardon, it's pardon. And then she says forget and catastrophe. So, how she coins these words, she creates these words. That sounded very, very interesting. Sometimes hilarious to read that, especially when she's writing about Putara. She has written a detailed description of both Vishu and Onam. So she has termed this as co-Vishu. That's her invention. So we were all locked up due to COVID. And then she's at that time, it was co-Vishu. And she's talking about making this Pukalam and Putara. And she says this Putara could be read as Putara, flower. You are making this platform to have the Pukalam, then it is Putara. But you can also read this as Putara in English because it's made up of cow dung. So how she's playing with words. Putara, it could be read as both. So that was quite interesting to read. And so such minute detailing or the invention of words of her own and the sense of humor with which she is portraying this makes it a fascinating read. Now, I started with saying that I was quite distressed by what I heard today. So that's something I wanted to talk, especially communicate with you young adults. Recently, we had this incident of a 15-year-old boy taking his own life due to ragging and bullying. Now, what distressed more was the chat, the messages that these kids were having about or kind of celebrating this death of their classmate, a 15-year-old boy. That was quite shocking, quite distressing, upsetting. So we friends were having this conversation. What is happening with our kids? Are we, as a society, as a parent, as a teacher, failing our kids? If they are behaving in this manner, we are also responsible for that. If a child can't talk about his or her problems to their parents or their friends, then there is something really bad. The situation is not very, very positive. So, what is happening with our young adults? How are they faring? What are they reading? Are they reading? Recently, I interacted with young kids. They said they are fascinated by this new series called the manga series. It's coming from Japan. I guess you guys are reading that. And they said they are very fascinated by this, but there is so much violence in this graphic book. And they are fascinated by this. And there are certain influencers like Andrew Tate or such people who promote misogyny or who create this manosphere. Recently, News Minute had a detailed report about this, how our own children are influenced by this. And they start thinking that women are inferior, that they should do only their house chores, they shouldn't work outside, and they are not equal. Feminism is not needed, equality is not needed. And how such influencers, these influencers have millions of followers, how they are influencing our young minds. If you check the comment section of any person speaking about something, you will know where we are standing now. I have gone through that. I was talking about dressing, I was talking about the hairstyle I flaunt, and you should read the comments. It's so derogatory, it's so negative. So there is some problem with us as a community, as a society. So obviously our children will be influenced by that. And there are certain women influencers or actors who say that they would love to be one step below their husband. They don't want to work. And there is this new tradition of what is called trad wife that's getting much momentum. There are Western influencers also who promote this patriarchal, stereotypical image of women doing cooking, caring for the kids, doing all the house chores, and not doing anything else. So, how this influence our kids is one thing, and how come these kids internalize so much violence? Father talked about. Lord of the Flies, one of my favorite books. So, this group of very affluent kids stranded upon an island, how badly they behave. So maybe we have this violence inherent in us, but things like reading, communicating, having friends help us in taming these bad qualities. So that is one thing when I started reading this book, that's one thing I wanted to talk to you, because this book gives me much optimism. Because the way she describes her mundane things happening in her life, or maybe the character's life, how she portrays, and her mastery over words. So it's so wonderful to have a 13-year-old girl in this world expressing that so beautifully, and so it's so readable. That's one best quality, especially nowadays. You have to hook the reader to read the book because you are distracted by so many other things. So I really wish her all the very best. I know she will continue writing. She has that knack for writing. She has that mastery over words, and I loved her sense of humor, how she coined the words, how she's playing with the words. Like a 13-year-old girl, she's just playing with the words. So I hope she continues, and I really wish that Charu will never be bookless in her life. And I hope, as her friends, you will enjoy the book as well as this will let this inspire to fall in love with this world of words, to read more, to be better human beings, and to write. Thank you.